A plant-based diet may be the secret formula for a longer life, but you need to do it the right way. That's the advice of Dr. Luigi Fontana in his new book, which presents a scientifically proven plan for eating more plant-based meals to boost health and longevity. Healthy longevity is about providing your body with the right nutrients to trigger cellular repair and gut health, said Dr. Fontana, director of the Healthy Longevity Research Program at the University of Sydney, Australia. We recommend people start experimenting by switching to 2 plant-based days a week, trying new recipes, exploring new flavors, and eventually increasing to 5 days a week, the expert says. According to the New York Post, the book is based on Dr. Fontana's previous research, in which he found that longevity is driven by 2 main factors: nutrient-sensing pathways and the gut microbiome. First, the right foods, based on a mostly plant-based diet, will trigger mechanisms that slow aging, reduce inflammation, and boost metabolism. Second, without enough fiber-rich plant foods, beneficial gut bacteria die off, weakening immunity and increasing disease risk, he explains. But eating only plants won't guarantee better health. According to Dr. Fontana, achieving a nutritious, balanced diet requires more than eliminating animal products. People may cut down on meat but continue to eat lots of ultra-processed foods, increasing their risk of diseases like stroke and dementia, as well as premature death. In one study, researchers found that for every 10% increase in calories from ultra-processed plant-based foods, such as packaged breads, chips, and cereals, participants had a 5% increased risk of heart disease and a 12% increased risk of death from cardiovascular causes. In contrast, people who eat mainly plant-based, unprocessed foods, such as fruits, vegetables and pasta, have a reduced risk of cardiovascular disease and death. This highlights the importance of not only consuming plant-based foods, but also choosing minimally processed foods to maximize health benefits, lead author of the study, Drive. Fernanda Rauber, told Medical News Today. Professor Frank B. Hu, Ph.D., an expert in nutrition and epidemiology at the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health, also suggests a diet similar to the Mediterranean diet, a healthy plant-based diet, or the Okinawan diet, Japan, all of which are rich in whole foods. These diets have been shown to reduce the risk of chronic diseases such as diabetes, heart disease, certain cancers, and even dementia. According to Insider, the most unique point in the Okinawan diet is fresh food every day with lots of vegetables and fruits. Plants are grown completely naturally, something that is not easy to see even in agricultural countries like Vietnam. Residents eat meat, but it is seafood and freshly caught seafood. Unlike other regions in the blue zones, Okinawa's longevity foods are more modest in quantity, consisting only of brown rice, green tea, shiitake mushrooms and tofu. Researchers conclude that the Okinawans' long lifespan is due to their natural and healthy diet. 6 main food groups you should eat more of. Experts recommend getting back to whole foods. To build a healthy, plant-based, fiber-rich diet that supports longevity, you should focus on 6 main food groups. First are minimally processed whole grains like brown rice, wheat, and barley. These are rich in fiber and have health benefits like reducing the risk of type 2 diabetes and heart disease. Second are beans such as chickpeas, lentils. They are completely naturally low in fat and cholesterol-free, but provide fiber, protein, antioxidants, support cardiovascular health, digestion and bones. Third, you should also incorporate nuts such as almonds, cashews and pistachios. Not only are they rich in healthy fats, but they also provide several essential nutrients, including vitamin E, magnesium and selenium, all of which contribute to overall health and vitality. Fourth, consider adding seeds to your diet, such as sesame seeds, sunflower seeds, and chia seeds. These little powerhouses can boost your intake of protein, fiber, minerals, and heart-healthy fats. Many varieties are also high in manganese, which fights free radicals and protects cells from oxidative damage. Fifth, when it comes to healthy fats, unsaturated options like extra virgin olive oil and avocados are key. These foods can improve blood cholesterol levels, reduce inflammation, and stabilize heart rhythms, among other things. Sixth, don't forget to supplement your diet with fruits and vegetables, especially those with a low glycemic index, such as apples, oranges, broccoli, and tomatoes. These foods digest slowly, aid in weight control, control blood sugar, and reduce the risk of chronic diseases. These changes include things like adjusting your diet, turning off the TV and getting outside, increasing social interaction and sex. Even simple fixes like flossing can help. Go outdoors. According to Verywell, longevity can be increased simply by going outside and soaking up the sun. Exposure to sunlight triggers cells in the skin to produce vitamin D. Vitamin D is essential for many important functions such as bone growth, bone regeneration, converting blood glucose sugar into energy. Vitamin D deficiency can impair all of these functions and lead to an increased risk of bone fractures, heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and osteoporosis. Research shows that 50% of adults have low vitamin D levels, simply because they don't get enough sun. Just 15 minutes of sun exposure a day is enough to maintain vitamin D levels in healthy people. Taking vitamin D supplements and eating foods rich in vitamin D are also effective ways to increase vitamin D levels. Foods rich in vitamin D include milk and plant milk fortified with vitamin D, oily fish such as salmon, tuna and sardines, beef liver, egg yolks. A 2019 research review concluded that vitamin D deficiency was associated with a higher risk of death from all causes compared to people with normal vitamin D levels. This included a doubled risk of death from cancer. Chat with friends. Life expectancy can be increased by hanging out with friends and family. Studies have shown that the more connected a person is with loved ones, the better their overall health. Scientists aren't sure why relationships play a role in health and longevity. It may be that people in positive relationships are less likely to take risks and more likely to take care of themselves. It may also be that having people around you reduces stress in your life. Additionally, people who engage in meaningful relationships tend to have longer lifespans. Exercise daily. 10 simple things to help increase longevity. You should do it now. Ha-en. Saturday, February 15, 2025, 8:14. 0:100, 6:27. Nam mean back. Dan try. There is no sure way to increase longevity, but research has shown that people who make certain lifestyle changes tend to live longer than those who don't. These changes include things like adjusting your diet, turning off the TV and getting outside, increasing social interaction and sex. Even simple fixes like flossing can help. Here are 10 simple things to increase longevity. Go outdoors. According to Verywell, longevity can be increased simply by going outside and soaking up the sun. Exposure to sunlight triggers cells in the skin to produce vitamin D. Vitamin D is essential for many important functions such as bone growth, bone regeneration, converting blood glucose sugar into energy. Vitamin D deficiency can impair all of these functions and lead to an increased risk of bone fractures, heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and osteoporosis. Research shows that 50% of adults have low vitamin D levels, simply because they don't get enough sun. Just 15 minutes of sun exposure a day is enough to maintain vitamin D levels in healthy people. Taking vitamin D supplements and eating foods rich in vitamin D are also effective ways to increase vitamin D levels. Foods rich in vitamin D include milk and plant milk fortified with vitamin D, oily fish such as salmon, tuna and sardines, beef liver, egg yolks. A 2019 research review concluded that vitamin D deficiency was associated with a higher risk of death from all causes compared to people with normal vitamin D levels. This included a doubled risk of death from cancer. Chat with friends. Life expectancy can be increased by hanging out with friends and family. Studies have shown that the more connected a person is with loved ones, the better their overall health. Scientists aren't sure why relationships play a role in health and longevity. It may be that people in positive relationships are less likely to take risks and more likely to take care of themselves. It may also be that having people around you reduces stress in your life. Additionally, people who engage in meaningful relationships tend to have longer lifespans. Exercise daily. Yoga has many health benefits. Photo. Live Science. Improved longevity is strongly linked to regular exercise. A comprehensive review of studies in the Journal of Aging Research found that people who exercise regularly, even if it's just 3 hours a week, live up to 6.9 years longer than those who don't. Building a habit is the key to success. The easiest way to build a habit is to commit to exercising every day, even if it's just for 20 minutes. If you do this, you can skip a day, but you're more likely to get back on track right away. For longevity, it is more important to exercise regularly year after year than to exercise intensely and then not exercise at all. Remember that daily exercise doesn't have to mean going to the gym every day. At-home exercises like yoga, stretching, weights, swimming, or brisk walking can be extremely beneficial, especially as you age. Floss daily. It may seem strange, but daily flossing can actually prolong your life. Flossing prevents gum disease and, in doing so, prevents bacteria in the mouth from passing through damaged tissues and entering the bloodstream. These bacteria in the bloodstream can travel to the heart, where they can infect and damage the heart muscle and valves. Gum disease, also known as periodontitis, affects 11% of the world's population and is the 6th most common disease worldwide. According to a 2020 review of studies in the Journal of Clinical Periodontology, severe periodontitis is not only directly linked to an increased risk of heart disease, but also an increased risk of death from a heart attack. Have more sex. Having more sex may increase your lifespan. It is thought that having sex improves your overall sense of well-being, giving you the motivation to take better care of your health. Other factors may contribute. For example, one early study reported that men with high orgasm frequency had a 50% lower rate of death from all causes. Vegetarian. Going vegetarian can help you live longer. This doesn't mean you should give up meat, but research has shown that the principles of a vegetarian diet can increase longevity by overcoming 3 barriers to good health. Specifically, obesity, excessive sugar consumption, and consumption of saturated fats found in foods of animal origin. By doing so, a person can reduce the risk of diseases associated with aging such as high blood pressure, diabetes, heart disease, and even colon cancer. Stress relief. Life expectancy can be reduced by stress in 2 ways. The first is through the direct effects of stress on the body over a long period of time. Stress triggers the release of a hormone called cortisol, which helps you respond to threats by increasing your heart rate and breathing rate. Long-term increases in blood pressure can be harmful, leading to anxiety, depression, high blood pressure, and heart disease. There is also evidence that chronic stress can age cells at the molecular scale. Studies have shown that elevated cortisol levels promote cell breakdown and increase the production of free radicals. Free radicals are molecules that damage cell DNA, causing cells to age and function abnormally prematurely. This, in turn, causes various types of cancer. To better manage stress over the long term, try mind-body therapies such as mindfulness meditation, gentle yoga, tai chi, deep breathing exercises. Regular health checkup. Maintaining good health is key to ensuring your optimal lifespan. This means seeing your healthcare provider at least once a year for a comprehensive physical exam and assessment. If you have one or more chronic conditions, you may need to see your doctor more often. You should also get any recommended vaccines, such as the flu vaccine, meningococcal vaccine, etc. In addition, there is a regular screening schedule based on age and gender. This may include mammograms, colonoscopies, Pap tests, etc. By preventing diseases or treating them in the early stages, you will be assured of uninterrupted good health for a long time. Which physical activity among running, walking, cycling, swimming, is the best way to prolong a healthy life? The answer may surprise many people. Thank you, gentlemen and ladies, for taking the time to watch today's video. Maintaining health in older age is an important journey that requires special care and attention. I hope the information and advice I shared will provide you with useful knowledge to maintain your health, live joyfully, and enjoy the golden years of your life. Once again, I sincerely thank you for your attention. Wishing you all good health and happiness. Please subscribe to the channel to motivate me to create more informative videos on health care. See you in the next videos.